So, if y'all are joining in right now, you have a good opportunity to kind of get an outlook of what I'm doing right now. We're live on Gab AI through YouTube. This is one of my new systems I got going on right now. I just purchased, which is, great opportunity. And in the background, it's kind of lagging in the background. Gotta go shut my other thing off. We're testing this right now for Real Talk. But Real Talk basically is going to be. Well, see, it's supposed to be popping up soon here. We're going to probably get a duplicate of all this going on. So if you're just joining in, like I said, you're going to, this is kind of stuff we want to see on Gab TV. This is the kind of opportunity, but,
So, if you're joining in right now,
let me pause this off here.
kind of get an outlook of what we're doing right now. We're live.
Of course, there you go. If you listen to the background, you can hear me on Gab. This is, my YouTube channel. This is, YouTube doesn't offer this little style thing I purchased into, but, it's the point that, it exists, so. And that I can literally do live TV on here and do my own thing without the hardships of just the functionality of Gab, which is, dang, I'm looking for my hat, which is so unfortunate. I gotta cowl it like a motherfucker, which is so unfortunate. But yes, like I was trying to say, this is not really my big talk here, Real talk is always something important. Sometimes it's always offensive because it never makes sense to the liberalistic radical left. And of course, it's always something. So, owning more than one phone helps too. Dang, I didn't think I lost my hat that bad. Well, I got this hat. It ain't much of nothing, but it gets the job done. So, what I'm trying to say is yes, we're live on Gab right now. This is amazing to have this opportunity to get these things going. I tried this for Facebook, but, priorly will not be the structure for TGRNews. I will have to get a separate camera, obviously, to do Facebook this way. But, boosting the YouTube channel, which again, guys, this is something that you'd want to, subscribe to and have that opportunity to, follow and keep up to date with things that are overlooked or missed. Through, of course, my understanding, my viewpoint, I guess, which I can put together. If I seem to see something I can put together, like this, this is the reality. I push play on this button.
AI through YouTube. This is one of my new systems I got going on right now. I just purchased, which is great opportunity. In the background, it's kind of lagging in the background.
It's still catching up
We're testing this right now for Real Talk. But Real Talk basically is going to be.
We're still steadily sitting here. We're gonna refresh this page and. So Real Talk, like I said, I keep it pretty, kosher, pretty normal. Obviously, a lot of people know there's a lot of different issues going on. But Real Talk, I'm rolling through opportunity right now with lawyers. A lot of people don't know right now. I am trying to file a lawsuit on my free speech being violated. So this is a very important part of the situation going on in my life right now. It's making sure that we face these trials appropriately. So I've came across my first lawyer. Of course, my first lawyer we've been dealing with has obviously he's actually not want to pursue the case. It's very unfortunate for the situation, but he said by his outlook it was a 50-50 chance. There was a win and lose by his opinion, but we're going through other lawyers now. So we're trying to get the ball rolling in that direction. No joke on the situation, and it was just frustrating. Here I am talking to this lawyer, and it just, it struck me. His law firm asked me to send him a video. send him the video, and get on the phone with him. We're talking, and I'm listening to him. He says, giving me all this information, which I won't get into yet because, like I said, he's got his own opinion. He's got his own situation. But me sitting here just talking to him, and then I asked him, was like, did you ever look at the video I sent you? The one that was, asked for me to send. And he said no. It's like, what kind of lawyer is going to sit here and not look at the video? That's a real question right there. Why are you not going to sit here and look at the video? I mean,
it's struggling. His law firm asked me to send him a video. I sent him the video, and
I'm not even too sure what's popping up on this thing right now. Charlottesville, Zephyrdville.
Giving me all this information, which I won't get in.
Got all kinds of stuff popping up on here, which is aggravating. I can't quite tell no one. Really? I know. I'm getting distracted over here. And the good stuff is, like I said, the good stuff is we're moving to another, lawyer about the situation, because obviously he doesn't want to pick up the case, but there is a case. And I disagreed what he was talking about in the situation because I was fully acknowledged on the situation where we faced that little area of gray that seemed to be questionable, but it was never questionable at all when I was already, educated on the situation. I was already explained about what to do and what not to do. And, I don't see as 50-50 situation in that issue. Obviously, we see different views, and kind of aggravating that, you request something from me, you don't even take interest in it. It's when someone tells you, when an officer comes up and tells you, shoot, I wish I just had the video right now. We'll pick it up somewhere. But, while we're sitting here just talking about this lawyer issue, which is big though, like I said, very important to sit here and think about, why didn't the lawyer sit here and take a look at the video? Which I'm going through, other lawyers now. I'm now calling multiple lawyers, about my free speech being blocked over a microphone, which was explained to me by the officer, trying to, basically put off my free speech like it was nothing. And I fully disagreed with that issue. I couldn't sit here and say that it was unnecessary, noise. How could you sit here and disagree with unnecessary words? Because they weren't unnecessary at that point in time. At that point in time, it was advocation, it was rallying, it was, getting out there, supporting a very situation that needed support. It was being out there, being patriotic. It was being, an activist. It was being something that, that really what true Americans are. When we get out there and we really get active. So yeah, it was a very unfortunate situation while we're sitting here dealing with the problems with, free speech being violated through Facebook, through Google, through YouTube, through all kinds of companies. And here we are fighting cities, that are giving us the premeditation of allegiance that we can do it, but turning around and we're just, getting fucked sideways and being shut down. And it's unfair. Now, I do agree. Blue lives do matter, 100%. Blue lives will always matter. That's a very important understanding that we keep out there. That look, we support our blue lives, but you cannot come trampling on my freedoms. It just doesn't work that way. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to others. And if I sit by idly letting people run over me, it doesn't make no sense at all. And that's the point. I can't sit here and let my free speech being violated and let it be disrespected by, officers of the law that obviously needed more coordination and training and more education. I mean, obviously they were not prepped to deal with free speech avocation. And that's the truth, while we sit here trying to relate about the situation, and our issues. Of course, I do fully, prepare myself to follow through with this lawsuit. I'm just getting the balls rolling. And like I said, this one lawyer, said it himself, it's a 50-50 chance, you know? And what's the point of it being a 50-50 chance? And I'm sitting here telling you it's more than 50-50. You know, and you sitting here telling me that you have these type of issues, that you're a small law firm. You know, I get a lot of lawyers are small. They're not diligent enough to do a job like this, you know. And then, you know, he's talking about trying to work it out in a way where things are paid by the opposite side instead of paid out by me. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're actually looking into that. I mean, I'm glad that you look forward to that situation. Not that I'm not willing to pay the money to deal with this situation, because there's more money into it, you know, for me not having to spend too much, because, you know, you just file the countersuit on what I spend, and then it gets paid back, and it's pretty simple to me. You know, I see that we face these issues, though, in this country, and it's real important for us to protect our free speech. You know, I can't sit here and stand idly by thinking that, oh, wow, we're just giving up this fight, you know, because one lawyer goes through this, or another lawyer says this, shuts me down there because they don't have the ability, or they don't have the intelligence, or they don't have the time for it. No, you can't give up on protecting free speech. You can't give up on protecting, you know, the ability to get out there and gather, get out there even by individual voices. You know, the ability to know that you're in your legal right in the first place. You know, where you're not breaking laws. You know, you are respecting the law. So I sit here and I try to struggle with the situation. I must have took me a second, you know, to get back together and get the game going again. But we're working on it. You know, I don't want to give up this idea that we aren't trying to make changes in our country, because we are. You know, it's very important for us to make changes. It's very important for us to stand our grounds. It's like I said, we can't give up the fight. It just can't be surrendered. Let me see. We're gonna set this up here. I have to pull this back. So of course, guys, you can recognize that I am live. Of course, you know, that's opportunity in one hand and another. All right, great. So we no longer have to hold that. But give me 1 second. I'm gonna fix this stuff. Whoa. All right. So our differences right now are being, you know, set forward with the situation. You know, obviously, I've set myself out on important information, you know, that needs to be put out there. You know, basically that I am moving forward, you know, dealing with, you know, our free speech, you know, protecting our free speech, especially when I go through a couple lawyers, you know, talking to personal lawyers, and really, you know, talking to the city itself, you know, and sitting here talking to the police station. You know, I called on a Saturday. It was a Saturday, and it was back when it was this year. But I called on a Saturday, you know, and talked to a phone director, I would say, a 911 emergency person, which was, you know, a complete accident, because the number I dialed, you know, on a Saturday was not receiving phone calls at the time. So here I am dialing this number thinking, oh, well, I'm just going to get through. Maybe they're open, maybe they're not. And it just sent me right through to 911 emergencies, which I ended up sitting there having a conversation with this young lady and having a conversation with an officer, because they ended up asking an extra question. You know, the extra question was basically about, you know, wearing masks in public and just actually getting the legal information on that situation. You know, you know, it directed myself to have that understanding automatically. It's like, wow, I was able to talk not only to the to the 911 emergency lady, which was so unique, but actually sit there and talk to an officer about, you know, some things. But like I said, you know, it's not that I didn't take the time to do a lot of these things, you know, which I did, you know, which I have taken the opportunity to continuously, you know, search for a lawyer. Obviously, you know, the first lawyer is not going to be, you know, prepared to deal with such a situation. Obviously, don't have the bravery, or, you know, have the intellect, or, you know, willingness to take on a situation, which here in Kentucky, Lexington, you know, from where I've understood talking to another certain lawyer, not a lot of these lawyers here want to gun up for Supreme Court either. You know, so if you have major cases here in Kentucky, Lexington, it's really hard to find lawyers that will, you know, suit up for, you know, larger cases and larger situations. So, you know, again, you know, it is something that it just strikes you funny when you're searching for a lawyer. You know, you've got to find the possibilities of who's willing to play the reality of the situation out for what it is, and not sit here and overlook a situation and try to play you off like it's 50-50 or something, because we know it's not. We know legally, from all the things you've already done, you've taken the right steps already. That means you're legally already in you know, your intelligence to go out there and do something, so you wouldn't, just go out there and just get arrested for something you don't know what you're doing. It's obvious common sense in these type of situations. But like I said, it is just an unfortunate situation while we're sitting here trying to find the right person. I mean, again, it's going to be a hard issue. If I had to look out of state for a civil rights lawyer that needed to do the job. But again, guys, if you're a civil rights lawyer and you see this video, find yourself more than appreciative to join me. Just send me a message on over, and I will, give you a phone call. But the point is that we shouldn't give up our free speech. We shouldn't give up, the battle for our free speech over a situation where we are trying to, politically respect, blue lives, and yet find that we cannot allow blue lives to get away with, things that are mistakes or stumps, and that can affect us in the further future. For me, if the fight stops with me, then who else is going to stand up for this situation? I mean, how hard is it going to be for the next person to fight this battle? It's not for me to sit here and give up on a situation like this. We are to stand together, or stand our grounds individually if we have to, fighting for our freedoms and fighting for our civil rights. It is a personal aspect to me that we have that opportunity in the first place to, it's amazing, living in a free country, living in a nation and where we have so much opportunity is something that I find that we need to continue fighting for. We can't let organizations like Antifa destroy us. We cannot let organizations like the KKK or neo-Nazis take over us. It is the point that we cannot let neither one of these groups, destroy our history. They cannot be the conflict of the problem of the United States of America, because it is only leveling the weakness against our Constitution. It's only leveling the more viewpoint of what America will be in the future, if America will ever be America in the future. And that's exactly what the radical leftists have been out to do. And the American flag has been tossed on, trampled on, burned on by the radical leftists multiple times, and has been targeted as a racist symbol, just as our Bill of Rights has. This is something that we cannot surrender. The people don't understand, where we need to start and where we begin, because there's so much to deal with at one time, and yet we've got to deal with things the best way we can. And in my most best direction, like I said, this is a situation right here where it's got to be taken serious. So yes, guys, I really do, find it, that I hope to God maybe y'all will say a prayer for me, one or two of y'all, that I will find a lawyer that will stand up for this situation, that will not let these people, ball haggle them out of, dealing with the situation, because politics in Kentucky, can be a little different. Learning that real quick, with lawyers and things like that, and understanding people's connections and biased understandings. It is very important for us to find the opportunity with a lawyer that will pick up a case and will deal with the situation for what it is. And it's no less than what it's going to be, because like I said, we're not here to throw people off into right field or left field. It's the reality that, we went straight ahead with the opportunity that was given to us and it was explained to us that we could do. So I'm like, okay, we're going forward with this, and this is what's going to happen, and here we are standing now, dealing with a situation that obviously, we all have to face, that it is an attack on our free speech. And those lawyers who do not support this issue will surely resemble their issues, surely show their ability for where they stand at, because I won't sit here and stand by, a lot of people who say they believe in our freedoms, believe in our country, believe in, the opportunity our country gives out, and yet they turn around and they shut people down like me by any forms or means or necessary of their thoughts, because they think they have an opportunity of scaring me off. If I have to represent myself, I would find it that it would be a very difficult case to be in front of a judge with. Of course, no, but I don't look forward to that. I think there is a lawyer out there that will deal with the situation very much appropriately. So, I just wanted to get on real talk on this situation, about, this lawyer issue. Obviously, searching for a lawyer is not easy. It is obviously but it comes with great opportunity. Like I said, it's come with great opportunity. I cannot deny the fact that me working right now for this opportunity to be recognized for what it is not great opportunity for nobody. It is. It is a recognition. It's an awakening for people. Why? Why is it a recognition? Why is it an awakening? Because it's letting you know people like me who you think you can trample over, people like me who you think you can just, walk all over and get away with stuff. You're not going to get away with it. You're not going to get an inch. You're not going to get a mile. No, we're going to take the whole cake and caboodle before you even try to push in any closer. This is a very serious situation. So, for me being a journalist and as my own news, as a reality awakening for people, has that ability to let people know what you're missing and what you're overlooking, because it's obvious that, they're missing it. They're missing it right now. And they're going to be missing it. They're going to be missing it because, we know for one reason. Here I am standing, talking about my free speech being blocked, my free speech being shut down. I didn't go out there to go wave a sign. I didn't go out there to shout my voice and scream at people and just be unorderly, because who knows, that would be his next, ability. And that probably would have got me arrested too if I didn't go out there with a megaphone and if I didn't deal with the situation appropriately. Because like I said, politics are deep. There's still a swamp to be drained out. And while we're dealing with this issue, the reality of it is that, we have to tackle it. We have to deal with it. We cannot let them continue bullying us. We cannot continue letting them think, wow, we're just going to do this and he's just going to go through this. And just maybe he'll shut his mouth, maybe he won't. No, it's not going to happen like that. No, we're going to take a stand. We're going to make our voice known in a situation. And no matter the politics that are trickling down into our country right now or into our own states or cities, you've got to look out there. You've got to take the time, and you don't know the reality and the struggle in which they make us go through. But, if you really put that effort into it, and if you really put that understanding out there and how much it takes to do something and how far you had to go to get that to happen, because you've got to pull in that opportunity, it will be recognized, most definitely. So, guys, I'm going to take a break right here. This is our live view. This is real talk, guys, and this is something new. So, this is so new, so awesome, great opportunity, and let me show you how this is going to work. We're going to just, well, see, this is going to shut the video off. Right now, y'all can probably still hear me. Of course, you can. Should still be able to hear me right now as just a test, and we're going to go shut the mic off and take a break. We will be right back.
circumstances beyond our control, it is to evacuate the building. Do not look back. Do not stop. Due to circumstances beyond our control, it is to evacuate the building. Do not look back. Do not stop. Due to circumstances beyond our control, it is to evacuate the building. Do not. Do not stop. Due to circumstances beyond our control, it is to evacuate the building. Do not look back. Do not stop. Due to circumstances beyond our control, it is to evacuate the building. Do not look back. Do not stop. Due to circumstances beyond our control, it is to evacuate the building. Do not look back. Do not stop. Due to circumstances beyond our control, it is to evacuate the building.
Alright guys, just sitting here messing with stuff real quick, just trying to get things understood with my my new setup here. Of course, if you recognize on Gab right now, it has a constant number of low, whatever you're pushing it at. That means when you exit and enter it, it's gonna just go, with whenever you push the button. But it's live, this is actually live. So I just wanted to get into conversation about this new opportunity, which I'll be doing. It's unique. It's different. Of course, not a lot of people understand it. Again, this is something that I'm going to be like, well, what are we going to do about Facebook? Of course, there's a lot of different issues with Facebook right now, different terms, why I'm using Facebook still again. Facebook is a great way to reach people, great way to have a community out there to understand what you're talking about, have that ability to be recognized. The literal fact that, understanding that Gab AI has, brought us so much different with free speech. And I know people are just like, wow, people are so happy about it. What you wouldn't understand the very importance about the conservatives that have been shut down on, Facebook, and which has been very a destructive path for a lot of people's free speech and civil rights abilities. It's been very unfortunate to watch, even YouTube or Google and things like that to go through the whole transmission of issues. Which again, like I said, when we face these type of issues, we have to know that, there's opportunity out there, and that's what Gab AI gives us. If they are to become that more harsh, we already get the issues with the diabolic symbols of Nazism, communism. We already understand the issues of racism and on from blacks to whites. It is obvious that we understand the situation going on with gays or transgenders and things like that, or radical Islamic. Just speaking out on certain situations. When you're not even being racist, but to the left, they are trying to create that whole structure where they want to make us all racist, and that's the point. Because we don't agree with them, we won't agree with them because of how far they want to take things, how far they've taken things, and how continuously destructive they've been. Obviously they can show a form of force, and yes, we get that. But, it is up to us to understand what they're doing is still not enough to put the fear into us. It is obvious that, what they don't understand, what we see and how we handle things is always going to be a lot more different than they will. But recognizing these problems, though, again, like I said, it comes with opportunity. When we face the opportunity right now, like what I'm doing now, is something I'd like to see for Gab. When we're doing our Gab TV, I love doing Gab TV, I guess you could say, but I haven't really done it lately. But the opportunity with Gab TV is the video format, is able to see it when you post it, just like your YouTube videos. It's something that where it posts up with the play button. We're still looking forward to them, making that happen. That's something, it's good. And being able to share it automatically. being able to, have that opportunity to have the chat, see people's conversations and what they got to say. I know they got a long ways to go. We ain't giving up on them. Obviously, I'm in full support of them. I've gone pro on Gab. It is something that, in my best intentions, who can help them in the best way I can. Obviously, me being a verified pro accounter, is an opportunity for me still helping them. But, like I said, we can't give up our free speech. We can't give up the opportunity for what the radical leftists still want to do. If I was sitting here watching Alex Jones videos, when he was in Seattle, that's the most interesting situation, I would have to say, trying to walk up to people. You would think it'd be staged, but is it? I mean, if it isn't, then we need to recognize that, obviously, from all the other videos that I've seen, when we're talking about arguments with the anti-F, or we're talking about, other people trying to talk to leftists, just period, in their own rallies, or their oppositions against free speech rallies, which they continue to do. It's the point that everybody's racist. Everyone has the same opinion on this side. That because we have all the same opinion, we're all the same. And that's something we've got to face. We've got to face the radical left for what they are, and the more they want to make us the enemy is okay by us, because it shows the intelligence of them. It shows the intelligence of their ability to work with the Republican Party. It shows their ability to recognize the reality of their lifestyles and their situations. It is the future of which they're still going to go down a very dark spiral, and they're not going to come back up ever again. It's not going to happen. We can see that coming to play. We know that their destruction is not that far off, and it's being done by their own hands because of what they think they believe in, and only because of what they think they can get away with. It is obvious that some of them are like, well, I got a felony, or I got a misdemeanor, or I'm this, I'm that, and they can just go out there and join these little groups and start punching people in the face because they become an instigator, or they become an attack, and just this little, warrior grumbling monster little thing that just gets away with it, but no, they don't. That's the factors. They don't get away with the situation. They can't get away with it because, we're still out there. We're still getting, the information, the faces, and these people are still being turned in regardless, so they are going to do their time for what they do. But it is still for us to face that our country has that readiness to deal with this ignorance, that has a readiness to realize, look, what we do is not because we hate you. There's a fine line in understanding what we're doing. And we get that you'll never understand the dialogue we have, but between one another, between, the few that understand each other, is something that, what we're going to do. For the few who can understand, it's what we're going to say. It's why we're going to say it. Are we worried about you ignoring us? Are we worried about you not having any understanding for us? Because, you know what? If you don't have America in your heart, we don't have to understand you. And that's how I see things. I mean, I'm a person who says it. You've got to have America in your heart for us to understand someone. You've got to be really at the best interest for America. And you've got to understand, your fellow neighbor and your fellow citizens next to you. Not just, because, someone's a transgender, all of a sudden you're just going ape shit because we disagree, because, we don't want, to be with this person, and we want fair dating. If we want fair dating, we want to know who we're going to be with, and not have this gender neutral person who reflects issues upon Christianity or Islamic issues, which of course, it is another understanding. Of course, we sit here and face that. How does this religiously oppose all these little problems? Of course it does. We know that, a lot of different religions, discard, homosexuality, and it's something that is still, respecting someone's human civil right, knowing their natural born gender, their age, their color, their family, knowing everything about a person. I mean, but here we are just, not understanding each other again, and it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother the next man. They're going to still continue believing the way they're going to continue believing. We're going to continue doing exactly what we're going to do, but you want to continue to be like, well, you're stuck on the side with Nazis. You've got KKK people on your side too, and you've got racist black people on your side also. I mean, they're hating whites and wanting to hate whites, a system to kill whites. I mean, you're going to sit here and tell me that I don't understand the function of the Black Panthers or the Black Lives Matter organizations and its foundations or the groups or the people or the threatening problems that come from all these little areas. I mean, the realization's thinking that, wow, we're supposed to see eye to eye. Of course we see sort of eye to eye. We see who we're supporting, don't we? I mean, that's obvious, right? I mean, because we're not supporting the KKK. We're not supporting neo-Nazis. We're supporting our country, but we see what you're supporting. I know. It's real hard to see the truth and facts when you sit here and you try to manipulate it all the time. It's real hard to see the truth and facts when you sit here and try to throw it all together as your own opinion. It doesn't work that way. Not in this country, not into the next lifetime. I mean, the reality of communism spreading lies and spreading its disruption and destruction into our country is obvious. That we have that reality part about, we awaken to it. We see what happens in China. We see how a lot of stuff is, really hidden within the background of these countries. Just to oppress people, to censor people. But, we face the facts of what we support, and we put it out there all the time. I mean, we don't support the KKK, we support neo-Nazis, and yeah, so there's racist people who are Republicans, there's racist people who are Democrats. Hell, there's a shitload of them out there, actually. And yeah, the color of their skin is black too, hating on white people. And they use the excuse that white man does this, white man does that. Well, that's been the excuse for years, and yet here we are with black people on our side doing everything they possibly can, which have bigger bank accounts than most of these people, trying to, scam people into funding their organizations to cause more havoc, more destruction in our country. And that's funny, because there are real black Americans out there that are bigger than the ones on the left. And only the dumbest ones on the left are sitting there being like, well, the white man's a racist. And they're like, well, I don't get where he's racist at. The right's still trying to figure out what the hell you're talking about and why you're still being racist. And that's the reality we continue facing with one another. And I don't see why we can't see eye to eye any closer than, y'all breaking apart from these people. I mean, it is about time we start recognizing the organizations that are criminal, destructive, and very dangerous, and very, harmful and threatening to our country. So, today's topic on Real Talk is a great opportunity. We're just going to go ahead and slow this down. Like I said, guys, it's a wake-up call. Going to continue going through, with this lawsuit. Going to find a lawyer that is needed. I already got good information right now about the outlook of this situation, which is a great update for this video. I mean, we've got to protect our free speech. We've got to protect our civil rights. We've got to be our own country. But it is for us to do these things. Other than that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. Adios. TGR News.